All right. Hello, I'm David, and this is my wife.
I'm Tammy.
All right. We're just going to have a casual conversation about what parents can do with their kids during the quarantine and what to expect. As a student support specialist, I work with kids and deal with so many different issues. And Tammy is
I'm a school social worker, and I'm also a child and adolescent therapist.
yeah, so we deal with kids on a regular basis. We're fortunate that our kids are already grown. We do have one at home now because of the coronavirus. She's here and not on spring break. They extended their break and they're doing online school now, so just like most of the other colleges. But our other one is a school counselor, so um, any type of student support, we pretty much have it in our family, and we've done a reasonably good job raising our kids and helping others raise their kids. Right. So, but we're just going to talk about what you could do with your kids now that they're at home. This is a great time for you to be at home with your kids. I couldn't imagine this, happening when our kids were younger, and we wouldn't have had all this information. Then I don't think I would have been able to handle it, but maybe this will help you. This is something that would help me if now that I've been doing this for a while.
Yep, I agree.
All right. So first off, establish rules. Things have changed. Maybe you need to review the rules with your kids of the house. If both going to be there, if you're going to be there and they're not going to be there, let them know that things have changed, and establish some times. Kids need to know what they can do, and what they can't do. So just go over that with them. A lot of kids might say, "Hey, you know what? I didn't know that."
Clear expectations.
Clear expectations
For a child.
For a child.
Just because you understand what you want, you need to be able to interpret that for a child in their language and how they might receive what it is that you're saying.
Okay. And then let them know that you're there to help them, by establishing a home schedule. And, we've many schools, like our schools, have sent home packets or e-learning. You as a parent, you may not know what to do with that packet of information or the e-learning packet, but I know a lot of the teachers that are on Facebook have said that if you want to reach out to them, they're willing to help the parent. You can also always contact the school. The principals and the assistant principals are still there working. There are people still doing work for the school and supporting you, that are there to support you. So you can always contact them. But establish the rules, maybe what time are we going to eat? What time are we going to clean up? What time are we going to do homework? What time are we going to just have quiet time and read, video games, family time, and then just some free time where they can do what they need to do and you can do what you need to do in your own house. So just establish some type of routine. Structure is the most important thing to these kids, if they're, especially now that things have changed, because transitions cause conflict. We see it all the time. When something changes, believe me, I know about it, she knows about it. We know all your personal business when something changes at your house, because it affects the child in the school. So now this change is going to affect you in your home.
And don't forget to keep times for waking up and going to bed as consistent as you can. Now, I know that kids are going to stay up later and you're probably going to sleep in a little bit more, but still have a set time to wake up and go to bed. Even if it is later, just try to have some boundaries around that, because again, like David was saying, like routine is very, very important, and stability is very, very important. And I could say probably 80% of the problems that we see with students is because of lack of stability. Just things aren't the same for them and they don't know what to expect. And like he was saying, the change, it really throws kids off. And I know you guys have heard it before, but kids do want discipline, kids do want routine, and kids do want to be held accountable. It's just part of their nature. So just try to keep that in mind, to have those times established, whether they are later or they are the same. Just make sure you have something.
Yeah, you don't have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning like you're ready to go to school or work, but get some rest. Say, hey, let's get some extra sleep. Let's get some extra rest, and then maybe by 9 o'clock, you can say, hey, we're gonna start our day at 9 o'clock and start getting some of this stuff done so that they're aware. So I always say, prep the mind, prep the day. If you prep their mind of this is what's to be expected for the day, then it'll make your day a lot more smooth. But if you just wake up and be like, oh no, you gotta clean that mess up, you left that blah, 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 blah.
Causes anxiety.
It causes fear and anxiety, and we have enough of that going on right now. Ask questions, what do you like to watch on TV? TikTok, I mean, even the first graders are on TikTok. You might not have TikTok in your house, but that first grader might be standing next to a sixth grader when they're before care or after care that's on TikTok and showing them all these moves, and you're gonna see them jerking and doing all these other things with their arms. YouTube.
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
YouTube. I mean, a lot of kids want to be YouTubers when they grow up. So they're following somebody on YouTube. Ask them.
Or they have their own channel. Did you know your kid had their own YouTube channel? Had a lot of second and third graders that had their own channels. I don't know if the parents were aware, but I knew. So
yeah,
ask them.
Maybe you can watch their YouTube channel with them and find out what they're watching. And I mean, you don't have to watch it all the time, but at least while you have the free time right now, check it out. You can say, hey, can you show me your favorite show? I want to watch it with you. What's your favorite video game? Let's play it at some time. What do you miss about school? A lot of questions that I ask is, what's your favorite subject? What's your favorite special area? What do you like to do when you're not at school? I mean, ask these questions to your kid and get to know your kid and your child beyond just being a parent. Really get to know them, because I know them.
Mm-hmm. And let me just add for the older kids, the high schooler. Our daughter's in the hallway.
Yeah.
You might not want to ask a whole lot of questions, because then you become annoying. So pick and choose what you want to know for that day, and save the other questions for another time. So you got to tread lightly with teenagers. They get annoyed really quickly, not just with parents, but just people in general. So just keep that in mind.
You got a question?
Yeah, does this connect to the printer?
Yes. But pull that thing out over there. So.
I can edit this out. Sorry.
What? That's all right. This is real.
Yeah, I gotta print my homework.
She's got to print her homework, and we'll get to her later, because this is a change for our youngest daughter. She's about to be 22, but she's a sophomore in college, and now she's experiencing online classes. So this is new for her, and so she's going to use the printer while we're here in the office. What do you miss about school? Who are your friends? This is a good chance for you to find out who your child's friends are. Maybe have them call their friends sometimes, or FaceTime them. But it's a chance for you to find out more about your child. We know that the teachers have sent home homework packets or online. Sometimes you don't have the Chromebook. Some districts do it. They send the stuff home, like your district sends stuff home. Mine
We're
doesn't.
1-to-1, so most of our learning is based off of a device anyway. So all of our students have devices that they are learning from. So.
And I believe in my district, you can just go to a website and have access to the material. The good thing about the material is the kids should have already been taught this material, so it's not like they're being introduced to something new. So it's a good time for you to say, hey, can you show me what you've been working on, and let me see how you do this problem. Say it again.
HP desktop 2600.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the only printer.
It's a good chance to read with them. Maybe have them read a page, you read a page. I know this wouldn't have worked with my daughter back in the day.
Just be silent.
Don't even say nothing. But so at least 30 minutes a day, you should be reading or having your child read.
And that could be when you're in the middle of doing something, they could read to you. you don't have to be sitting down. Like sometimes it's kind of hard for us. We're busy. We're up moving around. We have things that we need to do around the house. But it could be, which you guys have heard this, I'm sure. Like when you're cooking dinner or making a snack or you're in the kitchen doing whatever, then you can have them read to you. Or in between commercial breaks, have them read a couple pages. And then, if you're watching something together, have them read a couple pages and then you go back to whatever you're watching. So,
And reading doesn't have to mean a flat out book. Reading can be something online. Just have them read it out loud or with you, or you read it out loud with them. But it's a good time for you to share in the experience. For math or other problems, that you have to solve, do the first few yourself with them, and then have them do the remaining problems. It's a good chance for you all to work together on the assignments. Don't let the assignments be burdened and be like, well, that's your homework. I already graduated from high school many moons ago. But it's a good chance for you to be able to support them the way that they need to be supported.
And utilize your resources. So I'm not really good at math, so I couldn't help my kids. He was really good at math, but I also had my sister that was really good at math, so I could call her and get some help for the kids. Or like David said, there's a lot of teachers that are offering help online, or maybe you could text a question or whatever it is, or message a question to the teacher. But use the resources. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be a guru in all subjects. So just look for other ways. There's a lot of YouTube channels that, and your kids know this. There's a lot of YouTube channels that can help with some of the work that they're doing. I know my kids use Brainly, where they go and get answers. They can take a picture of the question and then they can load it up to Brainly and it'll give them the answer or whatever. So the kids know the different apps that they can use also as resources. So get to know those, get familiar with them, and it just make your life a little bit easier and take the pressure off of you for having to know everything. Sorry, she's in here.
So sorry.
All right. Social issues, discuss some social issues. Your kids are aware of what is going on in the world. I know a lot of classes watch CNN at the end of the day before they get on the bus. They're aware of what is going on in the world and current events, such as the coronavirus and sports. So tell them what you might know about the coronavirus. Ask them what they know about or think about it, and talk about how it's interrupting their life or changing their life or making it better. Sports, ask them about how they feel about the events being canceled. You can go ahead. And their sports leagues, maybe their extracurricular activities have been canceled. I know as a basketball coach, we didn't get to go through the tournament. Right now it's postponed, and I'm quite sure many of my players are disappointed about that. I'm disappointed about it. And so it's a good chance to talk about social issues. Not being able to go out to a restaurant. You're off. You're not being able to go on vacation. You're not being able to go to the mall.
And you can't online shop.
You can't online shop, I guess, now.
Amazon's got it where they're not.
Right. So there's a lot of things that you can't do, but there's a lot of things that you can do as a family in your house. So ask them what they like about their house, and and what they like that they can do.
So this is kind of it makes sense. This is kind of we were talking the other day, like a blessing in disguise, because it causes you to sit down and just pause for a minute and think about what you're doing with your life every day. Mm-hmm. The first couple of days we were exhausted. Like we just slept and took naps and woke up late and still took naps, because we just go and go and go and go and just don't think about how you spend your energy all day. We're not robots. And so this is a good opportunity for you to reconnect with each other, get to know each other a little bit better, and just pause and reevaluate what's important to your family and in your household, because you just don't think about it. You just go and don't really take the time to reflect and think about what's important to you and your family, and just have the conversation with each other about what you guys value. We started thinking about what we want to do for the next several years, and what impact we want to make, and then what things we want, what personal goals we have to that we want to set and accomplish. And we didn't have the time to do that day in and day out. So this is an opportunity for us to really sit and reevaluate some things and move things around that just weren't working. And so we can find different ways to make things work a little bit better.
Yeah. Another thing, pretty much, we got two more things. Emotions. This is an emotional time for everybody, for your kids. Their lives have changed. If they weren't already planned on being on spring break or during a break, I know she's already on spring break. This was her normal break. We didn't have spring break for 2 more weeks, so this is a change to their lives, and so this is new for both of you. Realize that you may be mad about missing work. A lot of parents, their jobs have postponed. They're working on ways to compensate them. I know my job's working on ways to compensate me as an hourly employee. She has a contract, so she's good. Her paycheck is still there. But let them know that you're upset. Let them know that you're mad, or that you're not mad or upset. Let them know how you feel about the situation. Oh, see, she's coughing. I might catch something. Let's see.
He can't read his own handwriting.
I know, I can't read my
I should
own.
show you.
I can't read my own handwriting.
See this? Look at that. Can you read it?
Right, I can't read my chicken scratch. But don't stay mad. Don't stay sad or upset. Find a way to cope. Find a way to calm down. Your coping strategies. Know what they are. For you as a parent, maybe you need to stop and count to 10 and walk away and say, you know what, I'm going to talk about this later. Why don't you think about what's going on, and we're going to come back and have a conversation with it. But always stop and don't react when you're mad. React when you're calm, and come up with
Don't respond when you're mad.
Right. So
Respond when you're calm.
respond when you're calm.
Yeah.
And that way you're not just saying the first thing that comes out of your mouth and you're really upsetting your kid, because you'll remember what you said negative to your child. And then it also will escalate them. You want to de-escalate the moment and not escalate them into getting upset. Because we know that all the kids that are troubled, that how we de-escalate them in school, we know they're at home with you right now. We know what they do. So we know exactly what you're going through. And but this time they're running around your house instead of our school. Mm-hmm. But think about have a calming place in your house. Where can your kid go and find peace? Where can you go and find peace in your house?
And it's not always go to your room. It's not always in the room.
Right.
Sometimes it might be underneath the coffee table because they need something to feel like they're protected and they need covering. Or sometimes,
Or a camp.
Yeah. Or a place to hide in their, So it doesn't necessarily always have to be their room, and that's something that you can have a conversation about before it gets to that point. Well, where's your safe spot in the house? Everybody has their safe spot, even adults, right? When you are agitated or you don't feel like being bothered, you're probably not in the main part of your house where everybody is. You have a spot where you go to recharge. And so ask your child where that might be for them, and don't assume it's their room. It might not always be their room.
Right. From fidgets to toys, coloring books, music of their choice, video games, talking to each other, maybe singing, maybe jumping jacks, push-ups. I know I do a lot of push-ups with kids, and other athletic activities. If you have a stationary bike at home, something that can get their brain focused. If you have bubbles, blow bubbles with them. It allows them to breathe without you saying, hey, take 10 deep breaths, have them blow bubbles. That definitely works. A quick game of Uno or something to calm and reset the moment. But have this stuff out, so that it's available for them to see and to remind you, hey, let's take a break from this. Yeah. Okay.
I was just gonna say, never mind.
Okay.
I was gonna say, keep going.
Timers work good. Set a timer for how long you're going to do homework. how long they're allowed to play video games and music, or any other activity. Maybe if they do go outside, we encourage you to go outside in your yard, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, but set a timer and have them set the timer so they can be like, hey, you know what, I got 1 more minute to do this, And then also give them an extra minute. Say, you know what, take an extra 2 or 3 minutes and do that some more. And that way, and then we'll get back to doing some of the homework. But, or have Legos, building blocks, can't read my writing, a coloring station. Have some stuff set up in your house where you can do this. And you don't have to have a big house. It could be a section in your living room, or in your kitchen, wherever you socialize at. It could be right there. So,
but the point is being proactive is what we're trying to say. Don't wait until the volcano has already exploded, because you can't get the lava back into the volcano, right? It gets out and it destroys things. So try to be proactive. Also, learn how your child needs to be de-escalated. Some kids need a physical release, which is where he was talking about the bike, punching bag, or getting a pillow and they can punch, doing some jumping jacks and push-ups to kind of get they need a physical release. Some kids need visual, so we do a lot with like the jars, the glitter jars, where they can just look at something, or if you have like a lava lamp or something that moves, that they can kind of watch and distract them. Some kids need to listen. They're audible. They need to be de-escalated audibly, so then they could listen to some music, or they could go and sing, or whatever it might be. But learn what your child needs to be de-escalated, because everybody's different. So just keep that.
And some kids may want to touch something. They have their sensory things.
Or
even what I use is painter's tape. Put painter's tape on the floor. Kids can build stuff. They can sense it with their hands, with the sensory, the stickiness of it coming up. It's not always something that you have to use what you have at your house.
Beans, a bowl of beans.
A bowl of beans. I mean, you might need them beans later. So,
or pasta. You can, they like to break up pasta.
Break it.
Or if you cook it, like they like it, it's like slimy or whatever. But so you can use some things. You have to get really creative, which is all a part of what we're saying, like learning your child in a new and different way.
Right. And having this stuff available for them. Let them know what they're able to use. Prep the mind, and you're going to prep your day, and you won't be miserable while you're sitting at home for 2 or 3 weeks, or however long we're going to do this. How to solve the problem. Think about what to do, and take some time away if you have to solve a problem in your house. Let them take some time away. Have a timeout spot. Not where you go and they go, and you guys come back and talk about it. Have a two-sided conversation, but the parent has the final say. Let them know that I have the final say, but still have a two-sided conversation and not an argument. And also, finally, ask for a hug. Tell them that you love them on a daily basis, and reinforce that.
And sometimes that's hard, especially for the parents of teenagers. That might be kind of awkward for you, but you can take the baby steps. And one of the things that my high school students will tell me is that they don't mind spending time with their family and their parents, but they don't like to be told to do it at the last minute. So try to schedule some time. And I know you think I shouldn't have to schedule time with my kid, but it'll just help put some fires out for your own self. So, like one of my students said, I don't mind sitting down eating dinner or having movie night with my family, but if they tell me in advance, that way I can prepare for it, because they have a whole lot going on up in their mind. And so when you try to insert yourself and force yourself into that space and they didn't invite you in, that causes some friction. So if you can plan a little bit ahead of time for a teenager, that'll just soften the blow. And then and again, don't force your way in. Just, you can either wait for the invitation, or you can ask for a later time for you guys to connect. But if you're demanding, it's just not going to work. And I'm not telling you to be the pushover parent and the kid runs the house and you do whatever. I'm just suggesting that you come about it in a softer way. And if you're not demanding, it just helps a little bit more for you to get what you want ultimately.
And a lot of times, let them come to you and talk to you.
Yeah.
And then once they start talking, then you respond with asking questions about what their topic of what they're talking about.
Not too many though.
And not
That's
too
a whole lot
many.
of questions.
But then that way it'll spark a conversation, and it could be just 1 minute, or it could lead to a 15-minute conversation. But a lot of times, let them initiate the conversation for your older kids.
And listen. That's a number one complaint of my high school students is that parents don't listen. Now, you might have to have a very good clarification of what listening looks like to them, because to you, listening might mean that you're sitting there and you're nodding your head. But to them, listening might mean that you're dialoguing back with them and you're having a conversation, or vice versa. If you're talking too much, they feel like you're not listening and you're not understanding what they're saying. So you need to have an idea of what that looks like for them. And it's hard for us, but we have to take ourselves out of the situation sometimes, and we have to focus on them, especially the older kids, because they're stuck in between being a kid and being told what to do, and also going into adulthood where they have to make their own decisions, and that's a really tough spot to be in. So it's already hard to navigate. So if you can make it a little bit easier by just falling back a little bit and waiting for an invitation, and then when the invitation is there, knowing how to respond appropriately. So not asking a whole lot of questions, and listening, whether that's silently with the shake of the head or if that is engaging with questions or whatever it is that they might. But you have to know your child and know what that looks like for them.
And also saying, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. I'm looking forward to see how you handle this e-learning. I'm looking forward to see what you accomplish. Can you show me what you did today? Those are different things that you can ask. But that's it. I hope this helps somebody. This was on my heart. Continue to pray for
He woke up at 1:30 this morning.
I did.
To write all this out.
I'm well rested. I've taken so many naps. So I'm well rested.
Thank the Lord, he did not wake me up.
I didn't wake her up. But I did want to wake her up and have this conversation at 1 o'clock this morning. But anyway, pray for the teachers, the staff, superintendents, the governors, the federal government administrators, and the CDC. And pray for each other. Pray for us. We're stuck in the house together.
Stuck. You see his wording wasn't right. He didn't choose the appropriate words.
I'm blessed to be stuck with you. Quarantined. Deuces.